Let's start off with Exia's abilities. Exia's primary fire weapon is GN Beam Dagger. Throw 3 GN Beam Daggers, dealing 115 damage per dagger. This weapon does not require a reload and can score headshots for double damage. Exia's secondary fire ability is Rush and Slash. Move forward and strike an enemy unit. This 8-second cooldown increases in power and movement range with charge time. Targets are stunned at max charge and dealt 350 damage. This ability also stops at the first enemy it hits, and does not cleave through them. Exia's E ability is Quick Step. Leap a set distance in any direction. This 7-second cooldown can be used while in the air, unlike thruster gauge dashes. Exia's F ability is Spin and Slash. Use a spinning slash attack that knocks back the target it hits, and deals 250 damage. This 4-second cooldown adds an additional stun to any target that was already stunned that it hits. And it can also hit multiple targets at once. Exia's G maneuver is Trans Am. Trans Am lasts for 15 seconds, restores cooldowns on use, and modifies some of Exia's abilities. Rush and Slash charges faster, the cooldown is dropped to 5 seconds, and it now deals 600 damage. Spin and Slash turns into GN Beam Saber, a 2-second cooldown that dashes forward, cleaving through targets and dealing 300 damage. Quick Step gains an extra use and is reduced to a 4-second cooldown. With the abilities over, let's discuss Exia's strengths and weaknesses. Exia has the highest mobility in the game, with both amazing horizontal and vertical mobility options. With this mobility, Exia excels in a single target assassination style. It uses the powerful combo of Rush and Slash into primary fire, finished by Spinning Slash. With this combo, Exia can kill up to 1200 HP mobile suits with one of them. Not only does this have knockback for use on displacing tanks, but it also can stun through shields, which are all shocking capabilities for a flanker. Unlike Barbatos or Zaku, Exia is not completely limited to close range, being able to throw daggers from distance. While this is usually used to secure slippery kills, it is excellent for gaining ultimate charge and poking out an unaware enemy at range like a GM Sniper 2. When Exia ults, it gains even more mobility, and gains the potential to deal up to 1590 damage with the same combo, which is enough damage to destroy the tankiest target in the game, which is Sazabi. Though Exia is extremely powerful in the right hands, it does have weaknesses. The biggest weaknesses of Exia are its low 800 hit points and a very high skill floor. As Exia is reliant on difficult combos and has little room for error with its low 800 hit points, the majority of Exia's value comes from quick thinking, excellent timing, and skillful uses of its movement abilities. This high skill requirement often will end with the frequent death of an Exia player trying to do what they had envisioned in their head. On top of this, the game understanding required to play Exia well is very high. Engagement timings, pathing routes, and target selections are all concepts that require an excellent understanding of the game to play very well with. Simply put, if you are not amazing at Exia, you will get more value in other mobile suits. So expect to have to put a lot of time into Exia if you want to get good at it. Moving on, when is it best to play Exia? Exia plays best on small and medium range maps, as it is more often in range of its dive targets. For this reason, it struggles on large maps, as it takes more time to reach its targets and is therefore more likely to be seen and killed before it even gets there. High ground maps are very viable for Exia to play on, as it has no issues gaining and playing from high ground. But the best rule of thumb for when to play Exia is about how well it can flank. If there are consistent and reliable flank paths for Exia to get in range of its targets, then it is acceptable to play Exia on that map. Choose Exia when there are high value kills to secure on low mobility units. If the enemy swaps to GM Sniper on anything but the longest maps, then feel free to swap to Exia and hunt it down. With everything else covered, let's talk about how to play Exia. As a dive mobile suit, Exia wants to flank onto a target, dash onto them, and finish them with his combo before escaping. While Exia can provide some long to mid-range poke damage, it should not be looking to consistently attack from range. This gives it 3 primary attack styles it can use. The first is a direct frontal attack, where Exia charges Rush and Slash before bursting onto a vulnerable target, hitting the combo, and then disengaging. Alternatively, Exia can use Rush and Slash to land slightly behind an enemy tank, and quickly rotate behind it to knock it into the Exia player's team. Both of these are situational though, and are dependent on the positioning of the enemy tank, or if there is a low HP target frontlining. Reliance on this playstyle may work at lower ranks, but at higher ranks it will simply be too predictable, and will often end with the Exia player being focused down. The second attack style is a reactive playstyle that is used while you are playing on defense, or when you control the objective. This defensive style is played by waiting near enemy choke points and targeting vulnerable enemies as they walk through. Using high grounds for this style is extremely effective, as you can engage from a high ground and quick step back to it for safety and to get your cooldowns back. An alternate version of this defensive style is to counter dive a diving Sazabi or a Barbatos. Position in a location where you can easily access your team and wait for the enemy to engage. After the enemy dives them, they are an easy and predictable kill for you to rush and slash onto and finish with Exia's combo. This is especially effective on hard choke point situations where a Sazabi or Barbatos will often dive your team like this to secure safe space for the team to push forward. The third attack style is the most consistent style, and the one that should be used most often, which is to flank and hunt kills. Flanking on a dive mobile suit like Exia allows it to do very powerful things. The first of which is to split enemy attention. Flanking enables an Exia to split from its team and hide from the enemy, so enemies are forced to spend time and attention looking for the flanker or risk dying randomly. When the flanker appears and attacks, the enemy is then forced to drop what they were doing and focus the Exia, or it'll kill at least one target. During this attack, Exia's team gains free time and space to push forward and secure easy distracted kills. The second benefit to flanking is how it enables Exia to get into rush and slash dive range. The middle of maps is almost always open and the focus of most players, so close range characters who move through there risk suffering heavy damage or death before they can even do anything. The sides of the map are not focused like this though, and at least one of the two has safe cover 90% of the time. Flanking onto the sides gains all the benefits mentioned before, but it also frees Exia from range issues. With correct usages of the map sides, Exia can pull upon the enemy flank with full hit points and all of its cooldowns available, ready to dive straight onto the enemy backline. For Exia, flanking is the key to success, so it should almost always be flanking. To cover this, here are the specifics on how to flank properly. Starting off, always look for flanks with covered routes. Rooms in close quarter areas hide you from long sight lines that expose you to long range enemies. Being unexposed to these enemies lowers your risk of death, and your risk of being forced to disengage because you took too much damage before you were able to fight. However, I cannot stress this enough. Be unpredictable when choosing your flank path. One of your top resources is the element of surprise. An unaware enemy is a free kill, especially on a character like GM Sniper 2. So absolutely do not let the enemy know your location before you engage, and play randomly. When you attack, how you attack, where you attack from, and whatever else you can experiment with, make sure to change it up. Also, consider attacking from behind the enemy. Though it is high risk and leaves you further from team support, it raises your kill potential as it makes you more unpredictable and increases the chance of your enemy not spotting you. Now, with the general covered, let's move on to specifics of cooldown usage. Exia has two attack patterns, one without G maneuver and one with it. Without your G maneuver, you charge your rush and slash to full, charge into your enemy, primary fire them while aiming for the head if you have time, and then spin and slash them to ideally finish the kill. If you do not finish it, primary fire again until they are dead, or run away with dashes and quick step if you are low HP. However, during the middle of fights, don't be afraid to use regular dashes or quick step to finish targets with primary fire attacks and spin and slash. Spin and slash is on a 4-second cooldown, while the charge up rush and slash is on an 8-second cooldown, so there will often be times when you do not have your rush and slash ready for a full combo, but you could dash to kill a low HP target. Now for the version while using Exia's G maneuver. Initiate with a charge rush and slash, primary fire if the enemy has more than 800 HP and you have time, and then finish it with the modified spin and slash that is now called GN Beam Saber. This combo now has a low 5-second total cooldown, so it can be repeated very rapidly to continue dashing from target to target. Just be careful not to charge up rush and slash in front of high damage enemies, as you could take too much damage during it. Now, it is very important to discuss how dashes should be used on Exia, as they are a very important part of its kit. While it's not as important as on Zaku 2, good usage of dash reduces the damage you take and increases the time you can stay in a fight. This will often secure extra kills you couldn't have gotten otherwise, so great attention should be paid to how you use them. Every dash should have a purpose, whether for confusing an enemy by dashing behind them, dodging an enemy cooldown, or anything else. Whatever it is, always be thinking about why you are doing it. And make sure to think about how cover can be used while you are dashing. Open space exposes flanker to extra enemies, so avoid it as much as possible. A great general rule is to always leave one dash available to jump to cover or dodge a cooldown when it is needed. If an Exia player does this, it will increase its value drastically. So practice your dash usage as much as possible, and constantly be thinking in fights about the best place you could dash to when needed. There is an insane skill cap to dashes, so keep at it. For specifics on other cooldowns, quickstep is better than dashes as it can be used to travel vertically and in the air, so use regular dashes for it. Additionally, Exia's G maneuver has an entry and exit animation that prevents attacking, so be cautious while beginning the ult, and be cautious while ending it. Make sure to check out these flanker and other unit type mobile suit guides I did that are similar to this one. And give the channel a subscribe if you like the content. This is a team effort channel grind, so let's climb this together.